Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the ESL Pro League and on to the final match today for the North America division. It is going to be eUnited up against MIBR. Didn't make a mistake there, didn't say MIUnited versus EUBR.
Yeah, good job. Good start. You got the
Didn't
team
make a
names
mistake.
right. Welcome
That's
to
it.
your first day at ESL, Kevin. Good job in getting the team names.
You'd be surprised, alright, because I've managed to mess up game names before, so regardless of that, let's move on to the real crunch of things. Is that, okay, MIBR and eUnited have faced off before in recent times. It was only just yesterday they faced off. It was a 1-1 split.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about all these leagues running at the same time. You can get a little bit more familiar with playing all your opponents. You get a second chance. You know, they might have taken us down 0-2 in whatever league, but we'll get them next time, and you have that chance to actually do it this time. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, but similarly as well, I mean, for the teams fighting for Odense, and you're looking at a team like MIBR, not eUnited, who are going to be making their way to Odense, it is going to be very much, okay, today, you really need to start taking your 2-0s for MIBR, because you can say you've been traveling around a lot, you can say you can still integrate your gameplay and whatnot, but you can't be affording to, honestly, at this stage, be splitting 1-1 because they've already gone down so much early on in this season. And I'm not talking against, like, say, for example, teams like Liquid or anything else. It's really like a team against Ghost, for example, who this season so far are still undefeated. They just took down Renegade, so I think it was the first map they took down Renegade. So, I mean, all of a sudden, it's like,
Someone's
okay,
streak had to be broken.
yeah, I mean, eventually, and you'd probably favour Ghost at this stage.
Yeah.
They're a bit more established at this point in time. They've got IGLing. Look, a Steel versus Azza IGL. Come on, like, who's going to win there?
True.
Even
Plus-
the Aussie
plus-
bias can't carry me through here.
Plus, NZ Orpers are pretty good, but have you heard of this guy called Wardell?
Wardell versus Gratisfaction. Oh, geez, that would have been a matchup to see. But that's not a matchup we're talking about at the moment. It's MIBR against eUnited. For eUnited so far, obviously coming through the Mountain Dew League, they're not a team that, I guess, a lot of hope has been placed on them, but there are names that you've seen around for quite a while, and when they're on point, they are a team that can do damage, if not get double digits against a lot of these established teams.
Which is crazy, isn't it? Because you look at the MIBR roster and you're like, hey guys, I won 2 majors, or I won at least 1 major, and then you look at eUnited and they're like, hey guys, I won Mountain Dew League once.
And they
Or
still
a
managed to
couple
get a map,
times.
so
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
I wouldn't say crazy just yet. It could be also MIBR did manage to only come back recently, so still trying to transit around. It's not a fun time to try to adapt back into coming on and playing on online league, but this is a time where, look, as many, we were saying this earlier for, I think it was for complexity, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, if you've been traveling around, if you've been going around and eventually have to come back and settle for these online leagues, you got to be taking these victories right now. And
Yeah, and look, honestly, you know, some people might not be able to relate, but look, as if you're MIBR, when you come into your ESL Pro Leagues and, you know, your other leagues, you know, it can be hard to find the motivation to play your absolute A game every time, and usually you won't. You know, usually you'll just try to do your best and you try to get as many W's on the board as you can. Whereas eUnited, this is their main thing. This is their thing. You know, they're not the premier tournament mainstay. They're the tier 2 land. They have their online leagues that they try to do their best in and make their way to some more premier tournaments if they're able to do well enough in them, which usually they're not. Like, let's be honest. So this is their highest motivation. This is their, we really want to win this game. And that's why you often see your 1-1 splits between an underdog and a more established team who's, you know, sort of a little bit off.
I mean, for a team like eUnited, who came in from the ECA Mountain Dew League, I feel like I've said this a lot of times, but I mean, this is really where the team has come from. And there's a lot of the NA talent that's coming in through this division. That there's one team that gets auto-promoted, a couple more that I think they get seeded into the promotion relegation matches. So this is the time for them to do damage. This is the time for them to really learn and put themselves in that mainstay. So whenever people go back and go, oh, you know, that they take a look at the ECA Mountain Dew League teams, for example, they'll go, yeah, there's a team called eUnited. They're coming in and doing damage. They qualified, right, for not only Pro League in the same season, they also qualified for ECS. And that is not an easy thing to do.
Oh, there's so many snags. There's so many hurdles. You know, you have to be fairly consistent to be able to do, you know, both. And a lot of the times you'll see someone at least hit one snag. You know, you always miss out on that one league. It's incredibly impressive for a team to just be able to consistently push themselves higher and keep improving and keep hitting those, you know, I don't know, the word I'm I guess goals. I was going to say KPIs, but like goals, you know, like you're trying to find your. I mean, it's a team. It's it's a functional thing
No,
where you have your performance things that you want to reach and stuff like that. Your performance quotas. I'm cooked. Too much uni. Too much management subjects.
Did you say KPR or something like that?
KPI.
KPI.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I couldn't think of
Stop
another word.
Don't bring your normie information into here, okay? Don't bring
Get that normie out of here.
I don't want to hear any of this university stuff, right? I want to just focus on Counter-Strike. So.
Yep. So obviously, you know, they have their goals to hit, and when they're able to hit every single one of them, they're able to push themselves high, they're able to get into those professional leagues, then that's extremely motivating. That's going to make them all happy. That's going to make them all continue to improve and continue to keep logging on every day and scrimming and practicing and trying their best to get as many of these upset wins as they can and try to push themselves to the next stage, which MIBR are a mainstay of. You want to get yourselves into those premier tournaments. You want to get themselves more chances to try to get some LAN experience, because that's a skill in and of itself, which isn't related to just how well you can shoot heads in the server or run a strategy.
I mean, taking a look at the Betway odds, it's pretty much, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily agree with that just yet in terms of, I mean, you're looking at once
this
again.
This could be a game someone could make some money on United boys.
I'm just saying it's obviously thinking, all right, you've got Mr. Content, he's pushing through smokes again, you've got biggest brain in Brazil, you've got best player in all of the world.
And then you've
2
got
years
that
in a
other
row.
guy who's pushing through smokes again.
I mean, pushing through smokes and dropping 1.5 rating and no one talks about, but this guy's Brazilian instead of Australian, so...
Yeah.
And, like, they should win. Like, on paper, you write these names down and you go, all right, they're up against these lads, a couple of Canadians from eUnited. Oh, I've seen this name before, Relics. That's Skylar backwards, right? That's his name.
Yeah.
You've also got apparently a Dota 2 hero in there as well. You've got Dazzle, and it's like, wait, I didn't realize that you're playing Counter-Strike. Yet these lads can do the damage, and they can still come in and win. It's like, there is the potential right now for
You're meant to be
eUnited.
a support character. You can't just go and drop 30 kills. Come on, mate. No, but honestly, like, you can play carry Dazzle. He's got, like, the damage buff as one of his talents and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see if he's able to actually do that.
I've gone down a slippery slope at the moment. The point that ultimately I was trying to get at here is that I feel like eUnited do have a chance in the series. It was shown yesterday. It depends what form of MIBR come up. Because if MIBR goes, all right, this is going to be another online league, etc., we're okay with splitting 1-1, then we might see a 1-1.
Yeah.
But if they come in and they're going full serious mode, they're going, okay, we dropped 1-1 yesterday. We can't let that happen again. We know what eUnited are going to be doing. It's going to be so much more difficult for eUnited to take that victory.
It's just, I feel like the MIBR formula at this point, they've had so many seasons of online league. They have to travel so much. They're probably, let's be real, you know, normal fans of Counter-Strike won't understand the burnout that a pro gamer experiences, but it's a real thing. And I feel like the approach from MIBR in a lot of these online leagues is always just going to be show up, do your best for the day and for the context of the match, and that should be good enough for us to win. And if it's not the end of the world. We'll be alright at the end of the day. We're good enough to have the consistency to make it regardless. Looking like a pretty fast one towards the inner. I imagine Fallen's going to throw a Molotov straight onto that CT connector. Dazzle proving that he is not just a support hero, getting his first pick into the round and a second.
Eventually, he is going to be shut down as Fallen makes sure he picks up the USP and tries to control this territory. Still a single smoke for them to use. But similarly, there's a kit for eUnited to work with as well. They're going to slowly try to clean out these corridors, but Fer is so far up, and he's really the danger man right now. Cold Zero as well. Oh my goodness, this is just going to be a complete snap around. Fer couldn't find the final target, but look, it's completely fine. It's the Brazilian trio that really cleans it up for MIBR. And eUnited, it was a good start for Dazzle, but they just didn't have enough firepower, didn't clear out the right corridors.
Yeah, look, all I'm going to take from that round is Brazil 1, NA 0 for all of eUnited and the MIBR players at NA. That's going to grab them all their guns that they need, some SMGs to make some more money. You see Stewie doesn't even purchase any utility. He's ready to farm some of those kills on the SMG. There's the deep connector smoke from Fallen pretty early on into the round. That's going to allow them to come out upper ramp and run this anti-eco, and it's working beautifully. 10 out of 10. I'm going to steal that. I like it. I like what I'm seeing.
Yeah, Dazzle trying to catch his opponents off kilter by standing on top of the B-side train, or B-side bomb.
Just didn't cast Last Grave in time, so he just goes down there. Can't survive on 1 HP.
I think this is
It's in the bin. All right.
Yeah, it's in the bin. We reference it too much, and as a result, I'm going to have to discard this option ever coming up again.
All right.
It was good until you killed it. Thanks, Mitch.
That's what I do. That's my purpose in life, is to run your jokes into the ground so you end up hating them.
It's like, I thought it was actually legitimately good, and you've just made it legitimately better, but you've made it worse.
I don't think anything could be legitimately good coming out of your mouth, Kevin, to be fair.
Oh, shut up, you. Don't think Fallen wants to be chancing any further, so let Cold Zero do the fragging. No, Fallen's still continuing forward.
He's the only one who really made a whole lot of money, and it's best for those USPing players. You're thinking, like, why aren't they fighting? Why aren't they just going for the kills? They got nothing to lose. Well, giving your opponent $600 is definitely not ideal.
I mean, they still had, I think, 2 people alive or 3 people alive at the end of it, which means that you're not giving away a potential 900 to 1800. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that later on means smoke 2 flashbangs.
Sure.
But into the buy round, Ace has got the AWP as well. Dapper just shoulder peeking the corner, spots out a little bit of presence at Ivy, so he's going to be dropping that Bloom grenade pretty early on.
Cold Zero above the SL here. Lining up a Molotov and some smokes. Maybe going to take SL control with Sui. MIBR putting a little pressure on Ivy and then heading back towards the T connector. I would imagine this is going to be some kind of execute. After they take the SL control, of course. I think this is bomb train smokes.
Yep, so one on the right side, one to, I think, block off that Ivy corridor, and the rest of the players are going to be coming out, trying to nullify that position. But for can't land the entry this time around, and Moose, he is going to be braying after that one. Oh my goodness, the crossfire from eUnited has so far has been pretty sharp and succinct, and it's all down to Fallen now, and he's only got a Galil. Dapper's
Very
gonna
well
clean
dealt
up.
with by eUnited.
Good composure coming out from Moose, just standing on top of the train.
Yeah.
Watching the firing corridors and making it work out. So eUnited not getting too jumpy just yet, but MIBR can still buy up into this.
That's the difference of being able to play lots of games against top tier oppositions, you know. A team like this, with their caliber and with their experience, if this is not a regular occurrence where they get to play a team like MIBR, like in a lot of these leagues, then, you know, he might not be so chilled out about the approach there.
All right, they're going to go in, but Fur as well as Stewie taking a lot of damage in the back of this incendiary grenade. And you still got, I believe it's Relics dancing around the bomb site, but the first 2 entries are going to swing in the favor of MIBR. Relics can't land the shots. And slowly and steadily, they're being locked out of the A bomb site. MIBR, even though they've got a lot of members low, the CTs can't seem to find the opening picks that they need, and they might just have to back off. Acceleration of pace works out perfectly for the T side.
This is nice to see from MIBR. I mean, they're going nice and fast in the first couple of gun rounds. Really want to make eUnited work for it. They really want to make eUnited respect the pace. And if they're unable to hold some of these faster rounds, and then they probably will run into some problems later on.
eUnited, though, have been reset quite early on. They do have this M4 and AWP, but just not enough cash really to be, I guess, forcing up rifles. They can decide to still get, I guess, a single FAMAS from Ace dropped over, a few SMGs and pistols if they decide to do so, because this is very close to, I guess, double eco territory. And it is going to be in that case where they are going for SMGs and dropping over a few weapons. Moose, though, not really on the same page as the others just yet. There it is. He's finally picking up the weapons.
So these MP9s, one of them going to be put to work in the SL position. Moose is rotating, and he's got plenty of utility to be able to help out Dazzle, as Dazzle has communicated that MIBR's taken those brown walls fairly seamlessly. Once again, MIBR just spread out all over the place, trying to make sure eUnited's not getting aggressive anywhere, draw out some utility, and then run whatever game plan they really feel like fits the round the best. Once again, Molotov being thrown into SL. Plenty of utility still left across the board from MIBR. 5 smokes still there. Definitely can start throwing some smokes into E now, maybe down that lower ramp to force out some utility. Nice work to play anti-flash there from Stewie. Gets himself a freebie onto Relics.
Oh boy, this is where Dazzle's making a push, but Fallen is watching the angle, but he misses the shot. Dazzle trying to push forward, but Stewie is able to punish that aggression. They're going to swing straight back to the B bomb site at the same time, though. Fur was able to find that first opening, pick in that out of his train yard. The AWP has gone down, hit the floor.
CTs have got no idea which bomb site MIBR are hitting. Fur's going to get another pick, so there's not even a chance they're going to be able to save here. Not that they really would have wanted to, because their weaponry was pretty lackluster regardless. But Fur closes out both of the last two frags, and it's 4-1 for MIBR. Money's broke for eUnited, at least a single eco, if not a double, if they want to start to get that AWP on Ace's person once again.
To be honest, I haven't seen an impact from that CT AWP just yet, so...
It's going to need to be there, though, if you want to have a good CT side on train and don't just want to roll over and die.
I don't think any team wants to roll over and die. For MIBR, this is looking quite disciplined so far in terms of the trading and coming out from a lot of their members. Action happening towards Ivy and Tarek. He's finally going to get some action happening his way. He's been quiet so far.
No content there. Only gets himself the double.
And also is just a go signal to instead go straight to the A bomb site and get the bomb plant down. Fallen had the package, so he's not going to be trying to contain for a bit extra damage. That's going to be called Zero, going back to see if he can make sure the AK isn't saved into the next round. But Daps. Dapper, not Daps. I was one alphabet away. That's actually two AKs they could potentially save forward and do quite a bit of damage. I mean, Fur's completely blinded out by that one. This is...
good damage.
Yeah, damage being done from eUnited and potentially two AKs being taken forward to the next round as well, where MIBR actually have to back off. Fallen, he's not backing off though. There is one go, and that is to go kill.
Down goes an extra person on MIBR there. I think it was Fallen, if he was the last alive. Only Stewie survives, and he picks up the AWP. Ace holding on to the rifle on the side of eUnited is definitely going to grab some more utility on at least one more player there. Which is him. Heading into another gun round. Only the AWP out on MIBR is going to give plenty of opportunities. Stewie's actually going for the con pick. Definitely could have got it there, but that was a nice shoulder peek in tandem with the HE grenade thrown out.
Oh, that is big coming out from Relics, locking down that short ladder position.
Great control of the M4 there.
Dapper, a little bit too enthusiastic to get this round over and done with. And similarly, Dazzle as well. He's close, and I mean, he gets the double dink this time around. He just gets one and falls away. It's all down to Stewie right now with the AWP, but he's down to 22 HP. Dazzle, you don't want to be proceeding any closer there, mate. Stewie is going to just get by. Oh my goodness. How has he done this? Relics, he has no idea what's going on. Stewie sees so many targets right now, but he doesn't have a rifle. He's picked up the package. He's going back up. And he might just decide to go to the B bomb site instead. There it is. There's the execution. God. What is that coming out from Stewie?
He could drop the molly on CT con and get the post plan out. This is very doable. If he plants for this and he goes towards oil or upper, this is a pretty winnable round. And he's got potential to line up 3 different aim duels with that AWP. They're definitely going to hear him scope up and drop that smoke close, I would imagine, on the side of eUnited, Kev. Ooh, they're coming in a little bit loosey-goosey. This is a bit scary, for sure.
He's able to position himself in a nice way, but he's still low. Don't forget that. This player on top yellow, though, Ace, able to deny a very scary situation. But what a play coming out from Stewie, even though it doesn't eventuate in the round victory. They do manage to get the bomb plant down. They made it a bit costly for eUnited.
I almost feel like, I don't know. Should he have even shot that guy above SL?
I mean, they would have known it's B site. So
yeah.
I think it was fine because Relics would have been like, oh, the bomb's still down at SL. And he goes there and then realize that they've been completely bamboozled.
The bomb's just gone.
Like, they don't even understand how Stewie got there.
All right, another gun round coming out. This time MIBR's had to drain the entire bank account to afford another one. Wow.
Straight down.
Straight down after getting triple sprayed.
I want to contest Relics on this angle, but
Pretty
Relics...
ballsy.
Yeah, Relics is not here, though. He's decided
They got the double orb, that's why. Dazzle's been giving a lot of responsibility over here on this B-bomb site. Good rotation timing out from Ace, who has Dazzle has heard Stewie take control in towards this Brown Halls area. Nice off angle there from Moose in Heaven. Picks up Fallen, who was probably scoped in looking for something towards Ivy or maybe A2. Another smoke expended on SL. And although MIBR's up 5-2, eUnited looks like they're starting to really get themselves back into this one.
Still, it's never over just yet. Especially you've got Cold Zero as well as Stewie and Tarek. Tarek going to be making his way through Sandwich, trying to get this early pick off on a Relics, but he can't land the spray down. And now the CTs are going to be swinging. That is messy from Tarek, and Cold Zero, he punishes Tarek for missing the shots. That's unfortunate, but it does also mean that eventually the CTs do manage to get the picks with the AWP. They manage to retain the double AWP setup. And now the T side have to go in the eco. eUnited rewarded for holding on.
Come on, Cold. Don't bully the new guy too hard, mate. I understand he didn't quite close out that spray in the 3-on-5, but you can't just go around shooting your teammates. Unbelievable. Full save out from MIBR, except for Tarek and a few P250s. See if he's able to get any 1D. Every kill really matters, especially up against the CT side train team who is closing out some close rounds. That's a nice shot from Ace to open things up. Gets a lot of damage on Fallen as well. Drops the Molotov.
But Stewie still gets the duel down, and Dazzle is going to have to get a pretty nice spray down, but he's got some assistance with his teammates, and eventually it's going to be a clean up.
That's a huge denial of the bomb plant for sure. The AWP gets retained as well. They only lose one up against the pistols, and that's the difference. Look at the money on Fur, Cold, Fallen, all 4.3 to 4.7k rather than getting up towards that 5k, and that's the difference between extra Molotov, extra couple flashes, smokes. Really limits your ability to be able to play much more into the late round in terms of just throwing extra flashes to clear angles, maybe Molotoving into the SL or upper ramp right off the start.
Now trying to put some pressure onto Dazzle in this Inners position.
He's doing a great job playing from these spots. The utility's timed beautifully once again. He's called for a rotation, 2 for 1.
Relics can't spot out Cold Zero, who's trying to crawl around, but he does manage to spot it out with the jump. Fur trying to sneak his way onto the site. Now, he will be able to get the bomb package down, and Tarek has got the Molotov as well, but there's so much utility on the hands of eUnited. They could just throw so many incendiary grenades. They don't really have to rely on the contact play.
Double retake with the AWP, though, might be a little bit difficult.
Especially if Fur's able to tap away at a few more heads. Here comes the HE and the pressure, but he just swings right over into the Inners train, trying to land the shots with the AK-47. These AWP shots are going astray. Eventually, Ace, he misses another one. Dapper trying to stick on the defuse. Oh my goodness, Fur, he's managed to turn it around. And he's going to hear where Ace is as well. He's just playing around with his food at the moment. Just call it a day right now because Fur, this man is just on a tear. He was huge yesterday. He's still big today. He deadlifts more than Semphis. Calling it now.
Alpha male?
More than that, mate. More than that.
What
was
what was that stick, though?
That was a little bit...
plenty of time.
That was a little bit questionable for eUnited. And I think that's where the inexperience comes in a little bit. They had a full set of utility, but they didn't use it in the best way possible.
Unfortunate.
But it's an all-around where they can try to make things work out. eUnited have bought up, and they've got everything that they need, but now come the rifles. They're swinging straight onto the A-bomb site, trying to close the gap. Still 2 CTs left alive, but no longer, though. Eventually, they're going to be shut down, and this is the role of the B-site lurker. You're going to get mollied off and then shut down, but he still manages to bust out. Dazzle still managing to make it work out. Oh my goodness. Dazzle coming forward, looking spectacular. I think he guesses where the last one is, but the grenade is coming in. It's not enough to dispatch of his opponent just yet. Fallen will hold on, but that is a huge round coming out from Dazzle at the end to at least make sure the economy of MIBR is a little bit frazzled.
Speaking of frazzled economies, eUnited, all around 2k each. Dazzle's super on point, though. Dear Lord.
That was looking good, and a chance to close it out on a 1-on-4 clutch from an almost impossible scenario. MIBR, though, they've reinvested. They need to make sure this round's a lot cleaner against this full eco.
Gotta love that decoy out from Fallen.
And And now out comes Stewie, looking to try to get these entries with the AK-47 down, dropping a bit of Molotovs to place the pressure on the CTs as well. But as I was saying earlier, it's just pistols at the end of the day. They're able to pick up one, maybe two. Ooh, okay. Keeping it exciting for now.
Lots of bells being rung. Dazzle was the only one with a deagle, and he was over towards Inners, unfortunately. Definitely potential for him to be able to get a kill onto Tarek. He seems to be heading in that direction. Every kill definitely matters here. I don't know if he caught the shoulder of Tarek. It seems like he did.
Ooh, that shot from Tarek.
1B.
Not an easy shot to be placing with the Galil. A lot of the time it does go down to that random factor. But eUnited can buy up into this once again. Ace, enough money to get the AWP. No armor, nothing else.
We'll go for it. Yeah, very little utility. Unfortunately, eUnited, a bit irresponsible with their economy, have let it run away from them. Some very close rounds where MIBR were able to come away with it, which is going to mean their economy is not the best either. This is a fairly important round. Ace with a very quick one onto Fur coming out Olaf, which is really going to slow things down as MIBR don't really have that terrorist who's made his way up into a more advanced position.
That's Cold Zero pushing forward to Sandwich, and I mean the AWP, it's actually going to be Moose being denied, and Skylar, I mean Relic's just playing around. He's taking a book out of...
That's a second triple spray down from a similar position on a gun round here. Colt's been spotted by Dazzle. Dazzle and Relics are just on point today.
Even
going
Moose
ham.
just kicked it up, and eUnited, the way that they're setting up, it looks like, I mean, sure, individually, I keep calling him Skylar, but Relics and Dazzle are doing well.
Don't worry about it.
They're doing so well at this stage, but at the same time, they are relying on these multi-frags to come forward.
And at the same time, they've lost 8 rounds against the T-side on train. Like... triple spray downs are good. Getting rounds here and there is good. And I mean, it's all a learning experience for eUnited. You wouldn't expect them to do too much of a contest, especially because I'm assuming this is MIBR's map pick as well. Like, they're doing good. I don't want to downplay it too much, but let's be real. You don't want to be letting MIBR get 8, 9, 10 rounds on their T side.
And still at the same time, eUnited have shown fight. They've earned these rounds, and Tarek is going to try and get the bomb plan down. But Dazzle, he's aware of what's going on. He's got 15 kills for a B-side anchor, which is pretty impressive if you ask me.
Yeah. Don't know how much of that it's inflated by them rushing in as anti-eco, but he's definitely had some pretty good impact in the gun rounds as well.
Final round of the half, MIBR can buy back into this, but lacking a little bit of utility and firepower for Stewie. I mean, lacking utility overall, firepower as well on Stewie, I guess, is what I was trying to say. Dapper, he spots the bomb as well. Dropping an HE grenade. Now this double AWP is starting to pay off a couple of dividends. Cold Zero taking a few shots. Relic's going to be dancing around as the T's are looking to set up into that SL position. But oh my goodness, Relics, he can't get the spray down onto Stewie at the end of the day, but he's still done enough, you'd say.
You could see his sense was a bit too low to hit that one there, unfortunately. Oh my god, Ace. Very brave.
I wouldn't want to be...
Stewie around the smoke, come on mate. Oh man.
Both sides dancing around, it's all down to the smoke grenade right now, and eventually Stewie, he's been played. Ace will be able to pick up the final kill. So eUnited, 7 rounds on the CT side. Not too bad considering MIBR are off to a pretty hot start on the T side.
But I don't know if it's going to be enough. I mean, eUnited, you're going to have one hell of a T side. You definitely need the pistol here. You need to cheat yourself as many rounds as possible. Not that it's going to grab you 3 anymore, but...
We haven't seen their T side come into train just yet. Some of their players have been looking pretty sharp, and from MIBR, it has been hugely impressive. Like, sure, Stewie, there's been a couple of good plays. Trading has been looking decently solid for MIBR across the board.
Dear God. 1.08 to 5.75. I don't know. Maybe Betway knows about eUnited's T-side, things that I don't.
Well, I always like to wait and see what happens at the end of the day. Molotov as well makes me think that they're going to go for a B-side take here.
Yeah, it's probably just a B hit. Drop that molly on the CT connector.
Or even for the post plant, but I don't like that. So
nah, you just chuck it on the CT connector, try to get in some advanced positions. That's what I like, Kevin. That's just my preference, man.
Hey, I respect that.
Thanks, Kevin. See, we can have a civil conversation.
We always have civil conversations. It just drags down to the stage where things get a little bit tense and we start getting a little bit antsy.
Just because I like you so much, Kevin.
Oh my goodness, that's a great shot from Stewie. I'm liking that one a little bit more, Mitch.
There's the molly. It's gone too deep, I think. Can they rotate out? Yeah, you can. Oh, no, he can't quite get out of that one.
Yeah, I mean, they're taking quite a bit of damage at the moment. The Dinks do manage to run across, and Dapper trying to close the gap as well, but he needs to be able to land this kill onto Fur eventually. The rest of the CT's coming forward, but Dapper, he's done so much work with the Glock so far, but is it enough? 2-on-2.
Oh,
both
so
CTs
low.
are low.
Yep.
And
I think this is looking like an eUnited pistol round. In they come. Smoke and a kit left up, but they're in such good positions. Look at Ace.
Still got the
Maneuvering
beat.
around the train.
Oh my
Beautiful.
goodness.
No chance, my friend. Those gushes. Dapper, I mean, what a precarious position to put yourself into, but his back pedal glocking was S tier.
S tier. I mean, it
Literally.
was...
Get it? Do you get it? Hold on.
Yes, I do get it. All right, now.
You press the S button.
I mean, it was similar to what Fur did earlier on in the pistol round for MIBR as well. But look at this. Okay, look at this force-up coming out from MIBR. 3 scouts. Not 1, not 2, 3. I can count to 3. Oh. This is not suddenly an easy round for eUnited. I'm fairly certain they heard a scout shot and they go, hang on a moment. Okay, MIBR forced here, and that has forced them to slow down on their approach, to take it a lot more cautiously.
I mean, you only heard 1 scout, but I don't think that an inner execute would be too bad of an option here. Obviously, eUnited can't really know if SK is set up to stack inners or anything like that, so I suppose we'll wait and find out. Seeing relics posted up in that corner makes me think that they're probably going to split outside after throwing some smokes towards inners. And yeah, relics is going to make... Equally, he could also make his way through Ivy and then head towards like back of trains.
Oh my goodness. Relics. Talk about wrecking someone.
There you go.
Yeah, he's going to wrap around back A2 to try to apply a little bit more pressure over here on the B bomb site, but Stewie is going to be playing around the smoke once again. Assistance from Fur with the scout, but eventually the AKs are going to be trying to close the distance to place pressure on the scouts. And talk about placing pressure right now, because Relics has just come forward. Doesn't matter if he gets tagged up. That's a double kill right now for the Mac 10. 3 kills in this round. He's nullified all the scouts by himself.
Beautiful. I love the way that eUnited just broke that round down. That was fantastic. And there's multiple things they could have gone for with that, you know. They went for the inner exit, but equally, you know, they had relics over towards Ivy there. I think that they had some control of SL. They could have gone down there and split outside.
Don't think so, because Cold Zero came down from
yeah.
SL.
Yeah, even so, they could have gone back for that after throwing the smokes or whatever, you know. So, I mean, it's beautiful to see them keep their options open, but even so, the way that they broke that round down, 10 out of 10. Beautiful.
You just give 10 out of 10 for any rounds that you like, and 0 out of 10 for any rounds that you don't like. Is there anything in between for you, Mitch?
No.
Okay. Understandable. Have a nice day. eUnited, they managed to close out their force buy.
But to be fair, Kevin, I do sometimes give rounds where a team doesn't win 10 out of 10. Like Int's last match.
Fair enough.
You could try your best, but sometimes it's still not good enough. That's what I've learnt very well so far in life.
I mean, that's a song, isn't it? When you try your best, but you don't succeed. So, well, MIBR do have
what you want, but you're not what you need.
MIBR still have a few pistols to work off with. eUnited going to be looking to make some inways from this SL position with Dapper on the AK. A few in T connector as well.
Is it just me, or is MIBR a bit of an ecoing team this game? I feel like I've watched them eco like 4 times now. Maybe
I mean,
4 or 5.
We've seen eUnited eco quite a bit as well, and it's really just down to both sides, really. It's a bit of a slugfest between both teams, and, well, Cold Zero up. I've seen a clip from him in this position with the Deagle. So it's not over just yet, especially that dink onto Dapper, and how Cold Zero...
Was that the train bell?
I don't know what it is just yet, but how some further damage being done by the P250. Some of the Ts have been put quite low, and they don't know there's one in aircon still. Cold Zero up. Trying to chip in and find the timing to just peek out and get a lot of kills rolling in his favor.
Get Nancy.
Both sides at the moment, you can see Cold Zero. Oh my goodness, I think he's been spotted out, but Relics, he's the one that cops it. Can't land the second one this time around. The attack will continue And Dapper, even though he's been dinked out, doing some good work with the AK-47, now it's into the USP as well as the P250, and eUnited, a scary moment if they knew what we were seeing, but they navigate it with what seems to be apparent ease as well.
And they upgrade the MAC-10 to the AK, so only a MAC-10 loss, assuming Stewie doesn't kill too many of these AKing players, and that's going to be fantastic.
Look at the position of Dazzle. He is in the game. Yeah, he is ahead.
He has loaded up Counter-Strike today.
I mean, he's been on point so far.
Beautiful.
I mean, what a player.
What a game. What a country. North America.
This is the part where we start reciting either the Canadian national anthem or the American national anthem.
I know neither. It's all on you, Kevin.
Yeah,
Don't let me down.
Yeah, don't trust me on this one either. If you can amalgamate both of them, that'd be great. Thanks.
I know plenty of the old Coldplay, but you don't ask me to sing the American national anthem. Best of luck.
Buy round is coming out from MIBR this time around, and we've got the AWP in the hands of Fallen. It's going to be over on Boosted and CD Connector. But otherwise, it's going to be all standard so far, except for this double B site setup coming in from Fur and Stewie. Maybe a timing nade of some sort.
Surprising, isn't it? We'll see how that works out for them. I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting in general, the setup that MIBR seems to be employing. I mean, you see a lot of the time on train, you have some pretty gimmicky CT setups where people play very forward on the tray yard or they play very further back on the train now. And it seems like MIBR is quite comfortable with letting Tarek just roam around that SL position by himself without too much help, and Fallen just play around CT connector and then play sort of a retake Ivy. And you're seeing the problem with that. I mean, Tarek just gets flashed and taken out by Dazzle, who is looking so on point. Dear God, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, eUnited so far overall have been looking pretty solid in terms of how they take this territory, and it's with a high level of discipline, which, I mean, I was saying at the end of the day, really makes you think that, okay, this is really a team that's just come from the ECA Mountain Dew League. This is a team that is looking quite sublime, in all honesty. And now it comes in as execute, but you can see Stewie and Fur, they're going to be able to drop the utility, and Dazzle, I mean, the smoke has dropped just in time to deny a lot of the damage, but Stewie's here at close range. Ace with the AK, or with the AWP pick as well. Fur trying his best to equalize the numbers, but it's all down to coldzera at the end of the day.
1 for 1 and 1 for 1 just endlessly until the end of time. The problem is that when you're in a 1 or... I was about to say, mate, when you're in a 1 or 2 with coldzera, it's still an even scenario. Never mind. There's this guy called Relics. Have you heard of him? He rips heads off non-stop. How many do you get that round? 2 or 3?
3.
Dear God. On the entry to the B side, the trading so on point. 11 to 8. Where's your 1 to 5 odds now?
I'd say they're slowly but surely dissipating away. And I mean, excuse me, Mitch, where was... I heard there was this analyst dude who tries to be an analyst because he can't qualify for anything, who said that, oh, I'm scared for eUnited because MIBR have achieved so many rounds on the T side. And I mean, this is not over yet for either team.
All right, Kev, we've seen one gun round. Calm your farm, mate. Haven't even seen a double AWP come out.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that it's looking so far good for eUnited, but MIBR is still in with a big chance into this. So I might not try and exclude anything or trying to count anything in just yet.
All you're trying to do is try to talk trash to me, mate.
Exactly, and I've won in that aspect. Now, eUnited, a little bit of contest earlier on in this inners position, but Tarek is already down to 1 HP.
So he's just having a bit of a lie down on the stairs. Probably something you would do after a breakup rather than trying to look for a peek towards inners. But anyway, Dazzle, see if he's going to make any inroads in towards the SL position. I think there's actually a CT in T-Con or something like that. But they're not interested in that eUnited. They're going to head towards inner and SL. The problem is that look how fast the clock's sort of running down. There's no utility for Stewie, so it can be traded out pretty quickly here, and I wouldn't be too scared because it looks like eUnited's trading super on point.
As a final smoke being used in 30 seconds, spacing is tight as well, not making a single noise across the map. Eventually, MIBR are going to be making moves around, and Tarek, he's going to be coming straight back in. Flashbang coming into that inner ramp. Now out come eUnited onto the site. The first shot coming in from coldzera will miss, but it is going to be Dazzle out in front, trying to get the spacing across. Tarek is still alive, unchecked for now. Dazzle has not checked behind him, and Tarek, he's managed to pick up an AK-47. And finally, Dazzle is going to come across and make sure that opportunity is going to be shut down. And Fur, very, very low on HP, is dancing between almost what seems to be certain death, but he might be able to get out with that AWP, which is
1 HP.
1 HP. That's all you need to get out with an AWP.
Later, lads. I'm out. Another great round from eUnited. They really run down the clock, and if they weren't looking so organised, if the trading wasn't so on point, I would have felt a lot more scared for them in that scenario, but it really looked like they were... The spacing was good and they were super on point, and I feel like, you know, even though there was a massive... how do I say it? They got really caught off guard by the player in mid-site there. It didn't look like they were panicking regardless.
The trades were still there, and I mean, with first saving the AWP, it edoesn't mean too much in terms of the eUnited economy. Look at Moose, he's got 10k. But for MIBR, this could... Okay, it's not going to be a double AWP setup. It's still just going to be that singular AWP setup.
I actually really miss Stewie AWPing. I remember him AWPing on like Cash and C9 and stuff like that, and he would always be great at getting those aggressive picks and getting in the face of the opponent, but fortunately I think those days are pretty far behind us.
Oh, Tarek, that was almost vintage coming out from Tarek and Fer holding onto the SL position.
But again, the trade back and forth already into a 3-on-3, and United are starting to slow this one down. Relix is in a hell of a position there, literally, as he's in hell, and...
There's 2 people watching him.
Yeah, Ace is chilling in T-Con with the AWP, seeing if he can get a pick in the mid-round, and Dapper's seeing what he can do towards inner. It'd be nice to see him throw a flash or 2 towards that inner position. Maybe try to keep MIBR on their toes. They're just dancing around the CT connector, Heaven and Bomb Train. Playing pretty centralized. They all just want to chill and try to make sure that if one of these Ts catches one of them off guard, they will be able to rotate around. But eUnited running the clock down there is really going to start to open up the options for what they can do, which is going to make MIBR spread out a little bit more. They need to hold on to that inners. They need to make sure that no one's flanking them from Ivy or catching them off from a weird position. What a flash in the mid-round. Works perfectly, but Cold Zero instantly trades from Heaven. They needed to get info that he was there at some point, though. The problem is Sui's creeping up from the bomb train, punishes the bomb plant. It's all on Ace.
Needs to find so many picks and doesn't land that flick onto Heaven. They know that he's got the AWP. 30 seconds left for him to try to find a favorable position. Cold Zero just dropping as much utility as he can to be trying to keep safe right now. Time is starting to dwindle away, and Ace needs to make a move right now. MIBR just holding on tight. And Cold Zero, Ace missing the shot means that he won't be able to get a second shot.
Was there, Kev? Cold's up on top of the desk, and he's aiming at the normal sort of body height, which is literally Cold's feet at that point, and that completely throws off his shot. Cold punishes him for it.
Good setup from MIBR to get them their first CT round.
Very patient in the 3-on-3. Nobody got antsy there. They all just chilled around the bomb train, Heaven, CT connector. They were very patient. They took their time. They traded out, and they were able to let Cold get the work done that he needed to get done from Heaven there.
And that is a big pick coming out from Fallen as well. The Ts are trying to commit through, but Fallen is just going to be dancing around this red train for days, and Tarek just staying hidden inside the smoke as well. The trading is now not on point coming in from the T side as Tarek decides to try to push through the smoke. He's blinded out by something, I don't know exactly what, and this should eventually be a relatively quick clean up. Moose does have that AWP. Can try to do a little bit more damage, but you'd say that his time is up.
Yeah, MIBR starting to brawl a little bit more. Previously United, fairly comfortable, looking like they were able to run their executes. They were able to get control of any part of the map that they wanted to. Now MIBR's getting in their face a little bit more. Fallen's taking those aggressive peaks, and you're seeing them start to run into some serious problems.
I think for eUnited as well, they will have to go on an eco this round, but they need to start slowing things down a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily agreed that a fast take was the right thing to do in that instance, especially considering the fact that, you know, MIBR did have a lot of utility.
I would agree with you. I would say that playing slow has worked fairly well for them, and that their trading execute-wise has been fairly on point. So I would say that taking SL control has been pretty good for them. Their Ivy pressure has been pretty decent as well. And especially, obviously, the thing that's worked for them the most is those inners executes. So perhaps that is what they need to go back to. Because let's be real, all right, you're up 12-10, but the more rounds you continue to drop without much damage done to MIBR, the worse position you're in, because even if you run one of those inners executes and you win a round, too late into the half after MIBR's taken a multiple rounds in a row, you're not going to break their economy. They're going to be able to adjust, and work you out in terms of how that execute functions and how you're able to take rounds off of them, and they will be able to adapt from there. There's a nice pick onto coldzera. That's going to chip a bit of economy away. Fallen comes into trade, but still not too bad for the T's. They want to get as many. What is that shot from Fallen?
It's looking good so far, but B-side might be a little bit vulnerable at the moment. Fur did push in, and like you were saying, this should still theoretically be an MIBR round, but damage has been incurred, especially with this double AWP setup as well. That's not cheap to be maintaining this entire time.
Azul has light armor, which means that potentially if he's going to take, I was about to say, if he's going to take that fight with Fallen, he could win it. Never mind. Fallen just puts one straight in his head. Not interested.
Oh my goodness, that's a sharp shot from Ace. And
yeah, look how much damage that's going to be to the economy, Kev. Absolutely critical. Time for the double AWP though.
We'll have to see if that's going to be the, I guess, the thing that breaks MIBR's economy if they can continue the winning streak.
I like the choice from Ace to not go onto the AWP. He's getting absolutely wrecked by Fallen.
And also, if he does decide to go for the AWP as well, that means that lack of utility. And we often talk about how trained you need every single smoke and Molotov to really get your executes down pat. Now a flashbang to also get them access into the B-bomb site.
It is refreshing to see, though. You see far too many AWPers very, very stubborn about, I must have the AWP, and even if I've lost 3 in a row, I'm going to keep going for it. Might not always be the best thing to do. coldzera with just the dry peek as he hears the reload from Relics. Moose trades one back. He's aware Cold's close at the server, but I don't know how much he can really do about that. He has a Molotov. Fur comes in to give him some assistance. That's a dunk on to Moose. Only for 13, though. Could have sworn it would have been more, Kev.
Sharp entry coming in from Moose, though, on the AWP. And now that deep progression smoke. Still 2 here at Ivy. They're contesting heavily, but that is not where eUnited are going to be focusing at. As a matter of fact, Moose, he's making out.
Ooh.
But not that kind.
Scandalous.
He's just getting out of there.
It would have been a glorious thing to see. A Moose making out with anybody would be very impressive.
All right, let's get some actual quality content in here, because that is actually a well-placed incendiary grenade to stall this push.
Tarek's still alive, and I would say the content's coming his way. He's playing under this upper ramp. He's going to make his way over to this Coils position. It is pretty much checked by Dazzle almost every time, but he's going to go up left side this time, so someone else is going to have to check him.
Yeah, left side, and Dapper is going to be there. They're going to swing around and try to check this Coils position afterwards. That is absolutely sublime positioning.
Dazzle comes back after coming up the left side through Summer and checks Coils. What can't this man do?
I don't know at this stage. Probably just not hunt down the remaining CTs as they're looking to most likely save coldzera. I mean, he's positioned behind near SL, but eventually has to concede the position.
There's a formula though, Kev. Again, the slow play into the inners execute. They trade 1 for 1. They make things awkward for MIBR and they hit inners. Even if there's 2 players in there, the way that they're hitting it is structured so well that it doesn't matter. They're able to create favourable engagements. They catch Stewie trying to push through the smoke and make a play in the 4 on 4, and they punish him for it. They get themselves another round. They pressure the economy of MIBR. Stewie's going to be able to buy. Tarek might have a lackluster weapon. They could throw the AWP over onto Fallen, but overall, this buy is going to be pretty bad for MIBR if they do choose to go for it, and I think that they have to because they're on a single loss bonus, and double eco at this point is going to mean 15 rounds for eUnited. But equally, if they lose, they are backs against the wall, going to have to force buy with around 2k in the bank or play for OT. So both of those options sound pretty bad for me, Kevin.
Ace has taken a lot of damage coming in from just utility being used from MIBR, trying to challenge that T-connected position. Now Fallen is going to be taking that angle up on that red train. SL control as well for MIBR, so I mean, this is not a done round just yet, nor a done game either. This is the hardest part for eUnited to close out.
Yeah, but eUnited's doing the perfect thing. They're very passive outside that T-connector and Ivy. They might start to put some pressure on this Ivy. We've seen Relics do quite a lot of work from that position so far. Whether he pushes it or whether he just throws some utility and puts a little bit of pressure on, he's doing a great job over there. Ooh, SL take coming in. Fur already with 1. Such a dangerous player to have to contest in there, and I don't know whether young Dapper wants to go down after his fallen comrade. I would imagine not.
And first retrieve the AK as well, so that's a bonus victory here. And eUnited, they're still going to try and commit to this Outers take, but I don't know what to make of this at the moment. There's just so much presence in SL and this Outers bomb yard.
I'm not feeling it, Kevin. I'm really not.
I mean, this has to be huge entries coming out from this T side, and like you're saying, I don't really see it coming because look at all this utility being dropped by the CT side, really putting them at bay.
They drop a smoke on the choke point and then flash through it, and it just grinds eUnited to a halt. They actually make the correct decision running up Olop, but Fur's in behind them.
Yeah, and he's executing both of them at the moment, swinging in for more as well. And eUnited, they're going to be contained at the moment. Fur, he's looking for more, and eventually he will be able to get it. 3 kills, no, 4 kills for him this round. And Ace has to just concede it, and like I was saying, you can never count MIBR out, and this is the most dangerous part as well. This is where MIBR are starting to throw some odd takes, and they're not even allowed to save the AWP as well. Stewie pushing it through Ivy, denies it AWP. And eUnited, this is now their backs against the wall a little bit. They don't really have cash to buy up on all their members, but similarly, I don't know if you eco in this point in time.
Yeah, they're going to buy up. It's going to be a pretty rough one, to be honest. And it's, I mean, potentially, if they do win this round, they can break MIBR's money once again. Not as hard as they might have done last time, and it's going to be even harder this time due to the fact that the weaponry is better than last round. The double AWP was out last time, but this time both the AWPers have armor and utility to work with. Not to mention the fact that some of them have slightly more money than they might have had last had they been broken then. And the weaponry on eUnited is not as good. The utility is not as good. No AWP. So, a much harder round to be able to try and convert. Once again, eUnited, they're going to walk towards this inners execute. The problem being, though, that MIBR has already seen so much of this inner exi from eUnited so far in this game. So, they're going to be pretty good at trying to defend that one. Once again, out comes the utility from Relics in Ivy. The Pop Flash is probably going to come out from Fallen to be able to peek that with Cold Zero, and Relics is ready for it.
Yeah, but there's not much you can really do with the Tech 9. He's just a bait, and the rest of the players are going to try and commit to the B bomb site, but that is a beautiful incendiary grenade coming out from Stewie. They're still going to get that bomb plant down at the end of the day, but this grenade should be able to clean up Ace. He's going to go kaboom, and Moose in a very, very troublesome situation at the moment. He might be able to get maybe 1, maybe 2, but that's about it. He only picks up a single one at the end. And MIBR slowly but surely trying to they are figuring out the recipe for success on their CT side. They are shutting down these takes of eUnited. It looks like this train from eUnited has hit a bit of a wall and it's running out of steam.
100%. It's because, you know, some of those earlier rounds, it's a bit of a difference in terms of how that inners execute functions. The difference really is, Kev, is the fact that you're talking about a 4-on-4 versus a 5-on-5. You know, the pick goes 1-for-1 in the favor of eUnited or whatever. Then when they run that inner exi, the rotations have completely changed. You don't have that extra person in CT connector to be able to come in fast on CT. Be able to come in fast towards the hump train because you know you need to have your 2 outers players completely attentive towards outers. You know, you might have 2 people on that inner bomb site. You might even not have 2 people on towards that inner bomb site. But if you try to go for that exi in the 5-on-5, you just have so much more to contest with. There's so much more utility because it's a better buy. There's so many more rotators to be able to deal with. And if your entries aren't as clean and your weaponry is not as good, it's just not going to work so well, is it?
Yeah, the flashbang and the utility from Fur, absolutely perfect.
Not even to mention though, Kev, in terms of talking about how easily MIBR was able to defend that. You're talking about a team, you know, they obviously have very experienced players. They have plenty of brains between them. They've seen that exit so many times, man. Like you can't just keep running the same thing into the ground. They're going to work out how to defend that, and they already have. Yeah,
MIBR back in the lead. And for eUnited, this is probably the last chance at a buy for now. And MIBR have built up quite a bit of cash, in all honesty, in terms of that round. They don't really drop anyone. They've got enough to buy until the end of regulation. Or at least to force into overtime that you're saying. MIBR once again back in top position. Ace, a pick onto Fur for the first time in what feels like a very long time. eUnited have managed to get the opening frag onto one of the players at MIBR to create at least a minuscule opportunity for them to work with.
And that's what they needed. Their success rate in these rounds where they've got the first pick has been so much higher than MIBR being able to play an even situation against them. and they are slowing things down wonderfully here. Would love to see them go and take the SL control, although they will have to deal with Tarek at E-Box. They definitely can isolate him, and as long as Fallen doesn't get too many picks on people who are caught slipping in certain positions, then this should go fairly well for eUnited, I would imagine. The problem is Cold Zero is pushed all the way at Ivy. He's in a very advanced position. The same goes for Stewie, who has got complete control of Innes and all the information.
They're still going to be contesting SL. Once again, Dazzle comes out on top. Fallen, though, at that close range of the AWP. Oh, my goodness, he whips out the Deagle as well. That's a secondary AWP, and Cold Zero still alive on the site. 2-on-2. Now, Stewie's going to come down that SL position, and all they need right now from MIBR is going to be Cold Zero and Stewie as they finally manage to put match point on. My goodness, what a map this has been. You know, they get the opening pick, but they still can't breach into that A-bomb site, and this has to be a desperation buy coming out in the final round, or what could be the final round. A lot of utility, but not much firepower.
I just really can't believe that didn't go the way of eUnited. They did such a good job. They got that first pick. They went into SL. They got the pick. That really should have been their round, but you can never count MIBR out, can you? They could turn anything around. That's what they're known for.
Stewie going to chance a little bit of damage in the Molotov just to see if you can get the opening pick, but you can see eUnited giving respect to the fact that Stewie does have that secondary AWP. Now Fallen coming ever so closer on that sandwich train. Gives a 14 damage shot over to Ace. Don't know what I really want to feel about that one.
I just feel like it's the same sort of situation we saw just before with, you know, your Ints and your NRG. You know, United, they've done such a fantastic job. They've made such a good game of it, but it's still just not quite enough to be able to beat MIBR, is it? They had their opportunity to close out the game. They didn't take advantage of that one opportunity, and that's going to cost them, it seems. But not over yet. They are grouping up towards Innes. Stewie's already tagged up and he's got the AWP. If he gets flashed too many times, it might not work out well for him. Fur's going to have to double or triple up. Otherwise, control will be seized of this inner train yard from eUnited.
I mean, he's got a grenade. This grenade's going to do a ton of damage as well, but he is going to be mollied off and flashed off. But he's keeping his head down. It's going to be so difficult for eUnited to pick this up, and he's just going to spray them down from the higher ground at the moment. Stewie is also making a cameo appearance, and no one's traded him out until it's too late. It's all down to Relics now, and the pressure is now on. He's trying to fly around, retrieving an AWP to try to make this possible, but there's just so many members right now of MIBR looking for the victory, hunting him down. He's giving it a good crack at the moment with the AWP, but eventually it's going to be Fallen, making sure that nothing happens for MIBR. Or the victory happens, not the defeat for that round. eUnited, they come close, but unfortunately not enough at the end to really close it out, and the experience coming in. Just a little bit more left in the tank, and just not enough in terms of the strategies for eUnited to be throwing at MIBR to close that one out.
Man, that definitely could have been an eUnited game, though. What a game that they played, especially on MIBR's map pick. They did such a good job with the CT side. I mean, definitely could have gone better for them. MIBR got so many rounds that gave them that extra room to work with, but the T side definitely caught me off guard. Some good strategies. I love the inner execute, the way that they were taking control, and you really got to give it to them. I feel like Dazzle and Relics were definitely the standouts, both on CT and T side. They were just so good at Dazzle locking down that inner and also going in on the entry for a lot of those executes and taking SL control. He was so consistent in finding those key picks for eUnited.
And certainly for MIBR though, just the caliber of the players to just come back from that 8-13 deficit or 9-13 deficit, whatever you want to call it, they just played around what eUnited were throwing. The players stood up. The caliber that you expected from players like Stewie, as well as Cold Zero and Fur, going huge towards the end to close it out.
And that's frustrating, you know, if you're one of these sort of second-rate teams in NA and you do so many things right, you try your hardest to win the game. They really brought quite a good game there against MIBR, and they're learning the hard way that that's why these guys are some of the best in the world. That's why these guys are, you know, pretty much worshipped by waves and waves of fans. It's because, you know, you can never count them out. They're just going to turn these rounds around. They're gonna win games in ways that shouldn't really be possible and aren't really something that you would really experience on the regular if you're a team like eUnited playing your MDL teams and playing your other weaker opposition.
But at the end of the day, you really have to just say that it was just a fantastic map of Counter-Strike, and there's no arguments about that. MIBR, though, taking that 1-0, I would say a crucial 1-0 lead right now in terms of the series, because that's also probably putting them in the mindset as well. There wasn't any loose play coming out from MIBR, which is, it was, sure, you could probably see some elements where players were being isolated, but I mean, eUnited did so much good work to isolate those players and to force them into unfavorable circumstances. Look, they still pull out the victory at the end of the day. That's what counts, right? The 1-0.
Yeah, 100%, and it's good to see a team like eUnited making MIBR respect them and making them sort of dig deep, at least their B sort of game to close that one out, instead of just being able to cruise through and win it regardless. And sort of, how do I say it? It's nice to see an underdog team sort of push them and try their hardest to win, rather than just roll over and die or make some questionable decisions and choke it out.
I mean, eUnited and both MIBR definitely played faster in that one. So, I mean,
That was fast and exciting, wasn't it?
It was fast and exciting. You could see the change in pace. There's never really a dull moment there. And, I mean, ultimately, I think it really just came down to the fact that MIBR and eUnited, there weren't any rounds where you could really say that someone was playing loose and gifted a round over. It was all hard-earned from both sides. And that's, I think that ultimately makes Counter-Strike such an exciting game, especially when it gets that about 29 round mark. It is
and
the
you
fact
get
that
blessed whenever you see a game like that in Pro League. Usually, you know, there's just so many silly moments, you know, when you're watching Inson Mirage or whatever, where you're just like, man, what are they doing? Why are they just throwing it away? You know, stuff like that. But that was a fantastic match to watch, and I'm really hoping that the next map delivers just as much.
We'll have to find out. We'll just gather our composure over here and wait for the players to get back into the serve. We'll be back after the break for MIBR up against eUnited.